Hello, Piperazzo. So we are back with Women Unleashed, episode 4 of season 1, brought to you by Dramaniac TV and broadcasted on Facebook Live using the phenomenal BeLive TV platform. So I have with me my co-host Alicia Couri here. Hi, Alicia.
Hey, Szebastian. We are trying not to speak over each other.
We are learning. This is episode 4. We will learn everything by episode 12.
We are trying not to talk over each other and have both of us speaking at the same time. So we're both trying to be really, really good today. But welcome everybody to Women Unleashed. This is the final episode for the year, not for the season. We're going to take a little break over the holidays, let everybody have an opportunity to enjoy their holidays, and we will be back January 8th. Our next live broadcast will be January 8th. And because of the season, I decided to dress up. Be all fancy.
Me too, a little bit. Not a lot, just a little bit.
Be a little fancy. The only thing I didn't put on were my eyelashes. I didn't put on the eyelashes, but that's okay.
Well, we men don't have many options, do we? It's always the suit. It's always the suit. Okay, so you might want to just go ahead and do a little bit of sharing and everything for the live, and I am going to do a little bit of setup and get things ready, and then I have a special message before we start and bring on the first guest. So bear with me 1 second.
So
and if you hear echo for a second, that's only going to be 1 second. Sorry, go on.
I encourage you to share, to go out there and share. You know, we want to make sure our guests today have the largest audience that we've ever had. They are really incredible women. Their stories will touch your heart. They'll inspire you. They will drive you to take action. And that is really what Women Unleashed is all about. We want to make sure that as many people have an opportunity to hear these women and hear from these women and be inspired by these women. So please be kind and share. You know, share it to your network, share it to your groups, share it out. Create a watch party on Facebook. You know, if you're on Instagram, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you joining us. Hopefully you can hear our guests today, even if you can't see them on camera, because unfortunately we can't have 4 people on camera and Instagram. At least we haven't tried it yet. Maybe one of these days we'll try.
No, we can't. See how many. I tried.
He's tried. We've tried. So we cannot have, so you'll just see these 2 pretty faces on Instagram. I hope that's enough for you, but hopefully you can hear everything that's going on for the show.
Okay, so let me start with a little message that I have. It's a little bit of personal message. So I want to actually begin by dedicating this particular episode to the most extraordinary, strong, and empowering woman unleashed in my life. And that's Santosh Satish J. She's my mother, who has been the unending source of inspiration and strength in thousands of lives, including my own, of course. And all I just want to say is I'm so lucky to have a best friend and an awesome mother like that. And one day I'll hopefully bring her on the show as well. So there we go. So,
yes, and I am honored that she is a part of this too, because she was the inspiration for Szebastian suggesting this.
Yes.
So I have a lot of gratitude for her as well. And I love her. And she is my adopted mama. Such a great woman. Such a great woman.
Hear that. All right. So it's time. Let's bring our first show.
And my mom's coming to visit me too. I forgot to say my mama's coming to visit me.
Yes, your mom is coming, and that's today, right?
So she'll be here from today. She's coming to visit me for the holidays. So
it's like we are having our own individual, private kind of a Mother's Day.
Yes, we are.
So let's bring our first guest, Alicia Castagnera Fletcher, on. and she will be with us within next 5 seconds. Bear with us, guys. Here she comes.
So while she's coming in, let me talk a little bit about Alicia. So I met Alicia, I think it was a year ago. I was doing a program to help entrepreneurs and business owners get media exposure. If they wanted to be on TV, find out how to actually book themselves on TV and get media exposure. And she was in one of those workshops. And she inspired me so much with her story. She is a mental health professional. Is that correct?
Yeah.
She's a clinical psychologist, is it? I want to make sure I'm getting that right.
So we can check with her.
Yeah. So you're on camera, Alicia. And she has gone through a lot of different things in her life. I'll allow her to elaborate a little bit more. But she is also hey, Kamanzi, thank you for joining. She has a wonderful son who is the light. I mean, she talks about him on social media and he comes up with the most amazing things. But her son has special needs and she helps to advocate for other parents to get the help and get the support that they need for their children and their families to thrive. And so, Alicia, we want to welcome you to the show, and we're so honored to have you. You've been a great supporter. So thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm delighted to be here.
It's an honor to have you here. All right. So, Alicia, first thing I'm going to ask, everybody needs to know now that this is actually your first Facebook Live. Well, kind of second, but first show that you're doing live, and you haven't done anything like this before. So what really inspired you to be here today?
I would say Alicia. I did meet her a year ago, and I was in her, it was, I think it was called Be Seen, Be Heard workshop. It was a really intensive, I think it was about 6 hours that we did.
It was like 6 hours, one day.
I was invited by someone else that she knew, and it was really intense and dug into my story. And I didn't even realize how much was in my story until she kind of pulled it out. So I've been following her for the past year, and she just always inspires me. And whenever I see something in the media that I think she would be a good match for, I've kind of reached out to her and said, hey, they're doing this segment in Baltimore. They're doing this. So when she reached out to me, I was like, you know what? I'm not usually a Facebook Live person. I've never went live, but if she's involved, I'm involved.
Yay. I'm so glad that I could be that kind of guide for you. You know, because I had to step out of myself. I posted something recently about, you know, knowing that I wasn't confident enough to step out and do that, but I did it anyway. And I'm glad that I can be kind of that path for you to follow now.
It kind of leads me back, because before I had my children, I did do quite a few, you know, conferences and
interviews.
I don't know if you know this, Alicia, but I did share it with Szebastian. I used to be a runway swimsuit model, so I'm not afraid to be in front of the camera or on the runway or do any of those things. But when I switched over from my clinical social worker role to my advocate mommy role, kind of lost myself there. So I'm coming back around, and I'm ready to get back out there, and I'm ready to just share my message and hope that it is helpful to anyone out there who may be going through the same type of difficulties that I run into, and let them know that you will get through this. You know, you have the strength, even when you don't think you can make it, you will find it. Back around.
And it's all about taking action too.
You have to get up and you have to show up. And some days you don't feel like it. And like yesterday, I think you made the comment, nobody wants to suck at life. And it's okay to suck at life sometimes. It's okay to wake up and feel like I suck at life today. But you can suck at life, but you can't. right? You have to get up and just push through it and see where it leads you. And hope at the end of the day, you still don't feel like you suck at life. But there's going to be things like that. And you just have to embrace that, because that's part of the growth process of growing out of those torments.
It's a growth process
that we go through and transforming. It's never comfortable to transform. And if you look at those hardships that we experience in life, at the time, you're like, how am I going to do this? But when you look back, your growth is like, how did I do that?
It's amazing. And so I want to talk a little bit about your son, you know, because you went through a very difficult period in your life after he was born. So tell us a little bit about that, because I want to give people hope who are probably now facing that kind of challenge, and that there is a path out of it.
He's 9, so I've been going through this for about a decade. I found out that he had kidney disease while he was in vitro, and he had to be born prematurely, emergency surgery to save his kidney, which they didn't think they were going to be able to do. It was a 5% chance, but we got him into Johns Hopkins, and they did their
sound.
And
I lost sound on Alicia.
Can you hear me, Szebastian?
I can't hear anything. Can you hear us, Szebastian? Szebastian, are you hearing? We're like there's no sound on anything. There we go. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Yes?
Can you hear me?
Okay. I hear Alicia. Alicia, can you speak again? Because we lost sound completely.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
I still can't hear Alicia.
Oh, no.
And I want to make sure that people on Instagram are hearing her as well. I don't know if they're hearing her.
I haven't changed anything over here, so
I think I can hear her fine.
You hear her, okay? So as long as you can hear her, I don't hear her.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going.
So he had surgery at Hopkins, and they said the next year he would have to have repeat surgery and probably lose his kidney, and he didn't. He was also born with a disorder called microcephalia, which is where it's his soft spots were fused together when he was born. A short time after that, I just noticed some things that weren't adding up, and I had him evaluated. And I was told by the doctor that unfortunately they thought that he may have autism, which turned out to be the case. And the prognosis was not good. He was in treatment for about a year. And the medical doctor told me that he would be profoundly mentally retarded and do nothing more than mimic me. So that's kind of how I said, wait a minute, I'm a clinical social worker. I have a lot of experience helping people and working with other people. I need to help my own child. And I kind of backed out of my career and jumped into him. And he is now a straight A student. In a typical classroom. He does have a one-on-one aide, but he has a voice and he talks and in full conversation, he will tell you exactly what he thinks of you.
Yeah.
No matter how inappropriate it is. But it's words. So once he found his words, he went with it. And I was very lucky, but it was a very stressful time because when he didn't have his words, his behavior was really out of control. And they do a specific type of therapy called ABA. And what I decided to do in that time off was to go back to school and get a second master's in applied behavioral analysis. And I think that that really helped with working with Connor. But what I've realized is there were a lot of parents going through the same things.
Well, that's what I was just going to hear you. That's what I was just going to ask you because, sorry, not here. I read here on the screen and I said, that's what I was going to ask you was that, you know, there are parents who are going through that initial fear, that initial getting that news and being paralyzed.
I think one of the hard things is not knowing your resources in your community, because when they first told me that my child may have autism and needed to be evaluated, I called the 2 major hospitals, and there was a 1.5-year wait list. Well, early intervention is so important, and he was 2 years old at the time. So I just started reaching out and doing what I could do. And
you became proactive.
If you run into this difficulty, check out your education system in your community, because most have an infant and toddler program, and that service is free of charge. And they will come out and evaluate your child. And if they qualify for the program, they will come into your home and work with your child. And this is all free of charge. And so I had a year worth of data when I walked into the developmental pediatrician, for him to not have to order those tests. The resources were right in my community. And I had such a good relationship with them that I later went on and talked about the importance of early intervention at the National Directors of Special Education Conference, and did a mini documentary on what my experience was.
Yeah, I saw that.
It was nice to be able to share that out. And it was nice to be invited to it. And I never thought of myself as an expert, but they did. So I just went with it.
You know what? Because you knew more than they did. And you
know what? You have actually shown people that instead of giving up and getting frustrated, not only create a path for yourself, but for others. And as Gina Maria Castagnera says, we are also very, very proud of you. So we're very proud that you have done and you have come where you are today, because how many people just give up, you know?
Yeah, she was an advocate for herself, her family, and especially for Connor, because there are moments in time when you can choose to give up or you can choose to fight. And this is what this show is all about, you know? This is a woman that chose to fight for her child and not just say, well, this is what the doctors say, que sera, sera. There's nothing else I can do. No, you said he will be able. He will be able to do this, and we are going to show you how. So
you have to be persistent in the face of resistance. And like you said, you have to find the able, not the label, and you work with what you have. And I want to say hi to Gina. That's my sister. She's been such a big support through this, because it is a rough road trying to manage 3 children. And I don't know if I've ever shared it, but my younger child, Sophia, she was born with a 25% delay across the board.
Wow.
She's in 2nd grade now. She's caught up. She, and we need speech. And it was a big adjustment for my oldest child, who's 15. And, you know, I had to work through some things with him too. So I had all 3 of these kids that needed me.
Right.
And I just backed off my career and said, here I am, I'm your mom, and I'm going to make it happen.
And but in the process, you also got a master's degree. So bravo.
I have to, because you lose yourself. You know, when you can lose yourself in the world of
mommyhood
and motherhood, and you have to give yourself permission to still develop your own individuality. You have to I still had to be Alicia. I still had to exercise my mind, because I couldn't let it go dormant. I had to still feel, you know, engaged with something besides my children, even if getting another degree that I didn't necessarily need, but it was keeping me engaged in other areas that I might not have the opportunity to be in.
And with other adult kind of conversation outside of home.
And that's that's one of the ways that I met you, is because I had to really look at my circle, and they weren't real positive about what was going on, some of the people in my circle. So I started reaching out. I said, who's out there who's going to support me in advocating for my child? And there is someone that I think would be wonderful to be on this show. Her name is Kim Goff, and she has a child with autism too. And she was really an inspiration for me. And I learned a lot from her about how to advocate. And her journey is one that you definitely should hear. So
I definitely want to. Hey, Mary, thanks for joining.
Hey,
Thank
Mary.
you so much. Yes, give yourself permission. I love
Absolutely. Absolutely. And speaking of which, not only you have done 2 master's degrees, you've actually started something that can help more than your own family, and you can give forward and you can help others transform their lives and deal with these kind of challenges and look from a different perspective. So do you want to tell us a little bit more about that?
My practice?
Positive
Yes,
Perspective
absolutely.
Inc. Yes, Positive
Yes.
Perspective Inc.
Yes, what I did is, as I sat and I thought, what was I doing? How did I get through this? And it just came to me that I kept up a positive perspective. So I decided to open up a private practice. I had one in the past, and it's a Positive Perspective Incorporated. And I know a lot of people are into the mindset right now and being mindful. And that was a big part of my focus in the past. But I think to have that positive perspective, you also have to bring the behavioral aspect in, which was what the second master's degree really focused on. And it really made me see where changing your environment and changing your behaviors can definitely change your mindset. Because you can give yourself all the self-affirmation you want, but if you're not changing your behavior and your belief system, they're not going to work.
Right. Because it's about transformation, not just trying to affirm something. There has to be real transformation that happens. And the only way real transformation can happen is through action. And so, like you say, you have to change your behavior. You have to change your habits. You have to change your belief system in order for things to change.
And you have to be willing to see the role that you're playing in blocking that change, because we're not always
take responsibility.
When if something's making you feel anxious, and it's a safe thing, as long as it's a safe thing. If you're feeling anxious or uneasy, it's because you're going out of your comfort zone. And
nothing's wrong with that.
You have to go outside of that comfort zone, and you have to say yes to things. Like, I said yes to this. I wasn't really prepared, but I was like, hey, I'm there. I'm willing to jump in.
We threw you to the wolves. We just threw you in there.
And you're adding so much value. The people, like Mary is saying that, the topic you're advocating for your family and staying positive is so helpful to others as well, Yeah,
which is why we wanted you on the show, because you have not just done this for yourself to say, well, I am focused on my family. I'm focused on Connor, but you went out into the community to let other people know these are the resources that are available for you. This is what I found out. You need to, take these steps in order to get what it is that you're looking for. You need to be persistent. So you just didn't stay in your own little bubble and say, well, yeah, I'm helping my children. You went out and you helped others.
And it's a great feeling to be able to help other mothers. And I have plans to set up a mentorship program for a special needs mother, where you put one special needs mother through it and you give her the resources, and they become mentors in the community for other
special needs.
And that's fantastic.
That's fantastic.
That's actually what I did my integrated project on for my master's degree. So I have the whole thing written out and it's ready to go, and I'm about to propose.
Take action. Yay.
Excellent.
Take action on it. So you have a proposal. Sorry. Go ahead, Alicia.
Some of the things one of the main things that I like to teach people is, besides, trying to keep a positive attitude, is saying yes when we feel uncomfortable, but also being comfortable with saying no. Because you don't owe anybody an explanation. If your answer is no, no is a complete sentence sometimes.
That's right.
You have to set those boundaries. And sometimes the answer is just no. You don't have to give an explanation. Don't let that sense of guilt and obligation.
Yeah. Well, you have something special for our audience too. So I want to make sure that you have an opportunity to share that.
I do, because I really like to give back, and volunteering has always been part of my heart. And I did all this advocacy stuff even before I set my practice up. If there was a mom that needed something, I was there. But I do general mental health also. and consultation. So one of the ways that I would like to give back is for your audience through the end of the year to December 31st. If you email me, I will send you my availability and I will set up a free 30-minute session to see how we can help you maintain a positive perspective.
Nice.
Because that's so important in whatever you're trying to overcome. It doesn't have to be a special needs. It could be anything.
Just stress over the holidays. Oh my gosh. Family stress.
And it doesn't have to be held before the holidays. So let's take that stressful piece out. Just contact me before the end of the year. We can set it up.
And you can set it up for January or anytime in the new year. So great. So the link is on the go to Germaniac.com/Alicia and you will find all the details of that offer and the link to be able to send her the message that you want that 30-minute free consultation with her about anything that's going on in your life that you'd like to talk with a health professional with, a mental health professional with.
Yes. And the email to reach Alicia is positiveperspectiveinc@gmail.com. And again, that information is available on www.germaniac.com/Alicia. So go on, guys, check out the link, check out all the information. And there will be, when she comes on future shows as well, you'll be able to find her on the same page again. But again, guys, don't go anywhere. We have another guest coming. And Alicia, you're not going anywhere as well because we're going to bring you back.
She's going to come back at the end. If anyone has a question. If you have questions,
so much.
Please ask.
Stay and watch. We'll bring you back on after the next guest and we'll all four together huddle and people have any questions.
Yes. Excellent. And I have to say, Alicia is A-L-I-S-H-A. See, I can't even spell it. I'm looking at it. I can't even spell it. I keep trying to spell my own name. So don't get confused with my name. It's Alicia, A-L-I-S-H-A. I actually have to look at it to spell it. so Germaniac.com/Alicia and get those details. So next guest. Oh my God. Coming up after just 10 seconds break. So Alicia, we're gonna send you back to the lobby in the green room and Cindy will bring you back in a second. So
thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome, Alicia. Thank you. So inspiring. So I want to thank Be Live, of course, for hosting this. Be Live is an incredible platform that we can use to do these live shows and be able to have our audience engage with us. So if you have any questions, comments, please, leave us in the chat. If you're watching this on replay, please leave your comments and your questions. We, of course, all four of us will go back through that and answer any questions that you may have and any comments that you may have. And Szebastian, do you have anything else you wanted to add to that?
Absolutely. If you have any needs for personal branding or consulting your teams to making your overall, to improve your business overall and increase the productivity, there's one person to go to. She's right with me here, Alicia Couri. So check out www.aliciacouri.com for any personal branding advice. She is also the Red Carpet CEO and executive producer of Germaniac TV, which has brought you this show. Now we're going to bring up. I
gotta say something now because you just put me on the spot there. So, so listen, I have been friends with this man, Szebastian, for a few years now. He is so phenomenal, and now I've had an opportunity to actually work with him. And be a part of Germaniac TV with him. And I have to say that if anyone out there is a business owner, an entrepreneur, you really need to get in touch with Szebastian because his company can take you to the next level. While I do personal branding, he takes you to the next level. And especially if you have any kind of challenges or issues, bad press, bad publicity, I like to call him, and he smiles when I say this, I like to call him the Olivia Pope of the world. He is like the global Olivia Pope. He will take care of it. So if you're a celebrity out there in trouble, Szebastian's your guy. All right. So now that we've sufficiently plugged each other.
Yes, let's bring in the next guest. Thank you, Alicia.
You're very
Okay.
welcome.
So in 5 seconds, we will have with us Cindy, Rodriguez, Kelly, and Alicia. You can say so much about her.
Okay, so, oh my gosh, I love this
Here
woman.
she is.
Hi,
I love
everybody.
this woman. She's my bud. She's my girl. So Cindy and I met we both took this coaching program together, and she was so inspirational. She was such a rock star where she was. She was in the city of Ocala. She pretty much ran the city of Ocala. Okay. You know, she was the neck. Anything that happened in the city of Ocala, Cindy was in charge of. And so I always looked up to her and saw her as such a phenomenal woman, but there was something on the inside of her that was bursting to come out. It's not that she wasn't satisfied with her job. She just knew that there was more. There was more that she can do. There's more she can do for women, especially, and to help. And so her path was that she decided while she was working there to start a business of her own. And that's kind of how we met. And she was working this business of her own when, unfortunately, tragedy struck her family. And it was devastating. But, you know, this was not a woman that could stay down. She could not be denied her dream.
Not at all.
And so she pressed through, and I'll have her talk about that herself. But she pressed through, and in a year has transformed her life completely. She's traveling the globe. She's engaged to a wonderful man. They have such a beautiful life ahead of them. And so I am so honored to welcome Cindy, because a lot of people are stuck, not knowing where to go, and having that burning desire to do something. And I'm hoping we can get some nuggets from Cindy on how you can press through difficult times and still have your dreams come true. Welcome,
Thank
Cindy.
you. Hi, guys. It's so good to be here. Thank you for that great intro, Alicia. And yes, I adore Alicia and I adore Szebastian. That program that we went through together was just pretty life-changing, I think. We learned a lot during that time. And I don't even know, that was probably maybe 4 years ago now.
That's about 4 years ago, yeah.
That's about 4 years ago now. And I've known Szebastian for a few years, and he's setting the world on fire too. So it's just a pleasure to be here. Gosh,
it's an honor to have you here.
I'm not even sure what I would say as like how I got through. I think the last almost 2 years of my life have been baptism by fire, because it was just, you know, like one thing after the other. And the event Alicia was alluding to was the death of my husband unexpectedly last year. So it was a definite blow to me and my two daughters. You know, he was 42, and it was, you know, he had cardiac arrest, and he passed away, and it was very unexpected. To couple with that, at the time, we were actually going through a divorce. So we were struggling to find out what co-parenting was going to look like, you know, how things were going to be. You know, we were separated, but, you know, great friends. You know, I was amiable. He was a beautiful person. And, you know, I had the good fortune to spend the last moments of his life with him. So I count my blessings for that. But it was
unexpected.
Really, yes, it was very unexpected. And, you know, trying to figure out
where to go from there.
You know, it was really devastating, and trying to usher my children through that process. You know, my daughter was weeks out from her wedding. You know, the dad's kind of a big part of the wedding. You know, we got hit with a hurricane the next day, that big hurricane that just devastated Florida. So he passed away the next day, huge hurricane strikes. So we were all on hold with no power, nothing for like a week. It was kind of crazy, but I think, you know,
that's where your strength was tested, and you were able to see just how much
strong I could be.
Could endure, right?
I mean, and you know, I think, you know, you said it earlier when talking to Alicia that, you know, there are moments that you can either fight or you can give up. And, you know, it probably would have been really easy for me to give up, Nobody would
have had a great job.
Yeah, I had a great job. You know, nobody would have blamed me. They would have said, oh, you know, gosh, your husband just died and your poor kids and this, and we totally understand. And, you know, but it's just not my DNA. It's not how I'm wired. You know, I had this dream of like working for myself and being on my own. And, you know, and I thought, you know, I've got these 2 daughters to show what it looks like when you choose to push through versus choosing to give up. And I can, you know, they were really my strength, you know, because getting up every day and putting myself together was, you know, to help make sure that they could get up and put themselves together. And, you know, God has just orchestrated this beautiful tapestry out of the scraps of my life.
Right.
And so it's just been totally amazing. I was able to, you know, meet my, you know, now fiance and start a relationship with him that's blossomed. And I was able to leave my corporate job back in March and become a full-time, you know, entrepreneur and helping women understand their finances and helping corporations to, you know, have cultural transformation. So it's just been kind of a whirlwind the last year, but
yeah,
it's to me, it's mindset. It's total mindset.
It's mindset. It's and taking action, because you had to change your belief system. You had to stand up against a lot of opposition from not just your husband's family, but from other people, friends and stuff. And you had to have that kind of conviction for yourself that, no, this is what I'm going to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was a lot of opposition. You know, like I said, in the middle of a separation that was not public. So a lot of people didn't realize that we hadn't been living together because, you know, we got along so great. Everything was so good. So post his death, to see me dating within a few months, people were like really confused, and there was
objection. There was not a lot of support, right?
Not a lot of support. Yeah. And then, of course, you know, I had this great job, quote unquote. You know, I was living the dream. You know, I got the master's degree, worked my way up, corner office with a view, great 401k. You know, the whole 40-40-40 plan that were sold. But that wasn't my dream. So there was just a lot that happened. But for me, it was, I had to just go within and listen to what I knew was right for me and what was best for me. And Alicia also said it, no is the complete sentence.
Yeah.
And I had to let people know that I appreciate that you love me, and, you know,
your concern and everything.
That's your opinion of how you think I should live my life. But, like, you know, me and God, we got this and we're going to work it out.
There you go. I know you have a question, Szebastian.
Yes.
I actually have to say something, not a question, but not only she got through this, this woman, the reason I love her, despite all her challenges, all the odds she was facing, she's been there for a lot of people. And she has a mantra that helps. It's a simple mantra. Everyone knows. One simple hashtag, if you say, love always wins. Yes. Every time I went to her, how do you deal with this? She had one positive attitude. Love always wins. Whether it's to do with the ex-husband, whether it's to do with the new life she's starting with Kimanzi, she always had one answer. And including when I had my own tribulations, she was the woman who listened to me very calmly, very patiently. And in the end, one answer that always empowered me: love always wins.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I use it so much now in so many circumstances that it actually helps. It actually changes mindsets. You know, as Alicia was talking about a positive perspective, that's what you do, Cindy. And you guys have so much in common. You should connect with each other.
I know.
Too.
I didn't realize that we put the show together with the two of them, and because Alicia just typed in that you know, her 2 children's father died as well. And so I'm like, wow, look at all of this synergy going on. So I wanted to switch gears just for a second, because, you know, we talked about the difficult times that you went through. And I do want to ask you, you know, if there were any steps that you took to kind of just get through those first weeks and first months. But then I want to shift gears a little bit, because you are engaged. Congratulations to a wonderful man. Yes, to a wonderful man now who supports your dreams and you know, who is right there with you. Kimanzi, constable, and you guys are traveling the world. So I want to hear about that. But first, give us some tips, and then let's talk about the dream, you know.
Yes. Okay. So for me, I'm going to tell you the tips are, it's total mindset. And Sebastian's right. I have been using the hashtag love always wins for years now. Like, you know, I love time hop on Facebook because I can go back and see just how many years I've been using it.
Right.
But I have often said, you know, people were like, this is so horrible. I said, I've never had a bad day in my life. There are bad things that have happened in a day, but I've never had a bad day in my entire life, including the day that my husband passed away and watching the devastation of my children. But, you know, you can face it in love or in fear. Mm-hmm. And for me, you know, we come from a place of unconditional love, and we are promised that love, and we are, you know, promised everything on earth. So I just had to keep focused on the fact that I could retreat in fear. I could make my decisions that way. And so each day, you know, hashtagging the love always wins. And yeah, I just had to make the decision. It was my anchor. It was my reminder, you know, to look for the people who were coming to me from a place of love and not from a place of fear. Mm-hmm. And if there was nobody coming to me, I could come to me.
Right.
And so because, you know, I'm my own hero. I can't wait for someone to save me. So I really kept a really strong mindset. I did meditate because that was how I tried to quiet my mind, because there was so much from an emotional standpoint. I also believe in getting support. I didn't hire a clinical psychologist per se, but I did hire an intuitive counselor to help me work through those emotions, because as you can imagine, you know, that triggered a lot of things, you know, in me that I didn't know how to process.
Can I time out just for a second? Because, you know, I know some of your story, and this is not the first really tragic thing that you've been through in your life. No. You know, Cindy is a survivor and a thriver. You know, can you touch just a little bit, you know, just briefly on some of the other things that you've had to go through, which will really show how this hashtag love always wins is really a powerful thing in your life. Can you?
So for me, you know, early on in childhood, you know, my mom was in a really terrible accident when I was 12, and she spent about a year in a coma, resulting in brain damage and lots of health concerns. So I had to be an adult, if you will, at a very young age. You know, and through loving support of certain friends and family, like we made it through that time. You know, I'm a domestic violence survivor. You know, I went through a very violent rape scenario as a young girl. So I, you know, pressed on through that. My first husband and I, you know, got divorced when my oldest daughter was 4, and he decided he didn't want her or me. So, you know, single momhood, but that didn't make a difference. And my older daughter actually has type 1 diabetes. So she was diagnosed when she was 8. And that's been, you know, a challenge for a lifetime. Life. You know, that's an everyday thing. And there's been countless hospitalizations and side effects and all kinds of things. And for me, being her advocate gave me strength. So I just would think every day, like, no matter what's going on, like, she can never step away from this. It's her life. And and then of course
you could probably take a break, but she can never.
She can never, you know, so just, you know, understanding that, you know, loving and supporting her through all of those tribulations, you know, are, you know, so there's just, you're right. There's been all kinds of things. And through it all, my thought process was I never wanted to be that statistic.
Right.
That used my tragedy as my reason that I couldn't do something, or used my children as my reason that I couldn't do something. It was always my reason why I was going to do something, and I can do something. Because, you know, the single mom statistic that you're poor and you're this and that, that's never been the case for me. I've, you know, got a divorce and lost my second husband to death, and I've not been in the poorhouse. I've not left. I've not.
Right.
You know, those.
You got your degree while things were crazy all around you.
Earned my master's degree, kind of like her. I went back to school, you know, as an adult in 2006, and I.
Were you shot too?
Yes, in my teen years, yes. I mean, so there's just any number.
She was also shot and left for dead. So she has a story. Let me tell you.
So for me, it's like, you know, tragedy to triumph is my story, and through it all, the common theme is love.
Love.
I am stunned. I am sitting stunned here. What? Seriously? And I thought I knew a lot about you, lady.
No, her story is deep.
But it's a choice. To me, it's a choice. Like dealing with those traumas is a choice. And if you can deal with your trauma from a place of love for yourself and not self-loathing, it makes a big difference.
Forward. Yeah, it makes a big difference. So I know Szebastian wanted to ask a question, but we do want to kind of transition that into the dream. You know, I heard Pitbull has a saying that he says, why dream a big dream when you can live it?
Exactly.
You know, why dream a dream when you can live it? So tell us about how this whole thing kind of, because your husband passed away. It's a year and a half now.
Yeah.
And how you have taken that and now transformed your life. Just give us a little bit of that. And then Szebastian has a question that he wants to ask.
Yes. Well, for me, the dream was to, you know, be the solopreneur, to be a professional speaker, and to teach and consult, you know, corporations as well as individuals, to help them understand that they too have a choice. So my kind of women breaking the mold theme is that, you know, we can do it differently. We can empower women without disempowering our men.
Right.
So recently, I gave my first TED Talk on that very topic. And in working with corporations, you know, there's a lot of buzz these days about diversity and inclusion. But
what are they really doing, right?
Yeah. And the question is, you know, the way diversity is taught is more of a tolerance versus an acceptance. And my thought process is, if we can change the culture corporately to show that it's diversity and inclusion, but it's really integration is what we're looking for, to integrate all of those ideas. You know, and as women, we're still fighting the, you know, making less than men and all those kinds of things. But, you know, my struggle, if you will, with the feminist movement has been, we've been advocating for a changing of the guard instead of a seat at the table.
Right.
And when we advocate for a changing of the guard, the oppressed become the oppressors.
Right.
And that's not what we want to do. And we've seen that with the Me Too movements. And, you know, like, I'm a survivor too, so I can say me too. And I've been harassed at work and all of these things. But anyone can heal their traumas. And the question that we're not asking is, we're not getting to the root cause. It's like we're putting a Band-Aid on it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're and
blame. A lot of
blame. And so we're not saying to our men, why are you broken?
Yeah, what's going on?
Did you suffer that caused you to act out behaviorally in this way and to treat women this way? And so we're, you know, in a lot of instances, you're right. There's a witch hunt. Let's go get them. But
that's a victim mentality too. It's a victim mentality because in order for there to be a victim, there has to be a perpetrator, and they're not looking at each other as both hurt in some way.
Right.
Because well, it's being treated black or white. There is no gray areas.
There's no gray area.
And there is a lot of gray areas. You know, being a man, I know sometimes I see things and I think, you know, I could be accused of this and I've never done any of that.
Right.
So I understand. And Cindy has, in so many conversations, actually made me, because there have been times when I've reacted like, but you know, I'm a man, so people will think this. And she's given the same empowerment to me as well, that feminism is not about me attacking you. It's about everybody being equal on the table, you know?
Right.
Yeah. Because broken boys grow up to be broken men.
Yes.
And we don't look at what broke them in the first place that allowed them an abusive parent or, you know, a rape from another, from someone they knew, that now turns into this behavior. Now it's just blame, blame, blame. And you did this to me and look what you did and all of this. So yeah,
we're not even looking to see if, you know, especially in the crimes that we're now seeing that are being uncovered 30 plus years later. You know, that man may not be the same person. And you know, and he may be, he may not be, but we're not taking the time to, you know, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the concept of restorative justice, but restorative justice basically is we are looking to address the behavior
And not the person.
And not the person. And what can we do to, who was harmed? What was the harm? What can we do to ensure it doesn't happen again? And the objective is not to punish, but the objective is to change those behaviors.
Well, look at even recently, this isn't as hurtful or devastating, but even with Kevin Hart recently, where he was told to apologize for some things that he said 5 or 6 years ago. And he said, can't I grow as a person? Can't I be evolved? Something I did back then.
People are being told from 20 years ago.
Right.
And,
he's like, can't I evolve?
You have done things and then you change and you become a different person.
And you become more aware. And he's like, I apologized. I've apologized repeatedly for those things. But now I'm being asked to have this particular position, to have this particular job. I need to apologize again. No, he took a stand for himself to say, well, no, this enough is enough. How many times do I have to keep apologizing for the same thing? I don't do that anymore. I don't say that anymore. So why do I have to keep being persecuted for the same thing?
Right. Well, if you think about that, that's exactly why, I'm leading the charge, towards
restorative
in the workplace, because that theme is played out in everything. Like if you're looking at felons, I volunteer in the prison, I teach financial literacy to prisoners. When you are an ex-con, that follows you around forever. So it's not like they serve their time, but it now becomes who they are.
Who they are.
At school,
and that's what CC is doing, the work she's doing as well. They if
you get written up or you're in trouble, you're the troublemaker kid. It follows you.
It becomes your brand.
Even in the workplace, if you had an issue at work and, that becomes, who you are as well, and you're held down. So we say that we want to evolve and grow, but
you're still held accountable for things that you did.
And we're not taking into account any growth that you may have experienced in that time, and it's unfair to hold, someone feet to the fire to a person they may not be. Because I'm telling you, if you met me 2 years ago, I'm not the person you met 2 years ago. I have my development game is strong. Like I'm totally about growth.
People change, people experience, people evolve, and people become different over the years. And I'm going to quickly read a couple of messages people have sent for you. First of all, I'm going to read Alicia's message. She actually pointed out a very great thing. Joyce Meyer says, hurt people hurt people.
Absolutely.
People who are hurt are going to hurt others. So we've got to find, as you said, the restorative justice.
Heal them. So that you don't continue to do that. Yes.
Exactly. We were going to find the right answer, not just try attacking each other. Yeah. And Gina said, you're such a strong woman. So, she
yes.
Thank you. Of course, your man Kimanzi actually says, and I agree with it, that it's incredibly motivating to see someone consistently walk their talk. And you do that. You really do that.
Yes. She's the book. Let me tell you, when I had my book signing a couple years ago, she drove in from Ocala to Miami to come support me for my book signing. She's always been a great support. I turned around, I'm like, oh, you're here. How did you get here? She does walk her talk. She says she's going to be there for you, and she's there for you. And I can't wait to be at your wedding.
Yes. February. Yes, it's coming up. Less than 2 months now.
Whoa.
And guys,
she's
going to be a new grandma too.
Yes,
my daughter is having a baby.
Yeah, she's expecting. We're going to have a granddaughter. So her name is Riley Rose. So we can't wait to meet her.
Nice.
By the way, guys, if you have noticed, Women Unleashed has one theme. All of us don't look our ages. I'm just going to say
we're just all fabulous.
We're just forever 21. All of us 21 forever. And guys, if you're actually enjoying this chat, don't worry. Alicia and Cindy are not going to be just here for a little bit. We're going to bring them back on other shows as well. One of the shows is mine, so I'm going to plug it anyway, all up in your business. And as I say, Cindy Rodriguez Kelly is actually going to pop my comedy cherry on that show. So she will be my first guest on All Up in Your Business starting on January 3rd. So don't forget to tune in on the same channel.
Yes. Because she's a brilliant businesswoman. She has so much value to share and offer for businesses. So not just the mindset and the things that she's been through, but you know, she is a brilliant business mind. So you got to listen to her. And oh, wait, my show's coming back.
Yay!
Oh.
Audacious Confidence is coming back in January.
And it has been a podcast and a radio show. And now it's going to be a podcast, a podcast and a video show.
There you go.
We're going to be multicast. So we're going to have some fun on I almost said Women Unleashed because we are having fun on Women Unleashed. We're going to have some fun getting, really getting that confidence going, being audacious and being confident, because that is kind of the root of stepping out and doing big, bold things and being unleashed, is having that audacious confidence that you need.
Exactly. And guys, all these shows have been possible thanks to BeLive TV, brought to you by Dromaniac TV. Sorry, BeLive.tv. Mm-hmm. They have been amazing with helping us, supporting us. And as you can see, they just this software helps you produce such a good show that you can download later and upload in YouTube and anywhere. And you can also go on Twitch and live stream. So thank you, BeLive TV, for helping us getting here.
BeLive.tv. So
that's right.
Alicia gave us an offer, and guess what? It is the holiday season. Cindy has an offer for us as well, because like I said, she is a brilliant businesswoman, and she's talked about so many amazing things. She's time management, financial literacy, diversity and inclusion. I mean, just a wealth of knowledge this woman is. So Cindy has an offer for us. Go ahead, Cindy, share with us what you got.
Yes, I do. Actually, on our the Dromaniac website, I am giving you guys a free guide. It is 21 different revenue streams that you can take advantage of in your business if you are an entrepreneur. 21 ways to monetize your existing business, because multiple streams of income is something people talk about nowadays, but that does not mean to open multiple businesses. You can go wide and deep in the business that you have by offering different service offerings, and I outline 21 of them for you in my free guide.
Wow.
Get started there. And then I also
I'll be right back. I'm just gonna go make some money. I'm just gonna download the guide right now.
And so you can put your email in and download that guide. And there's also an offer for a discounted coaching session with me if you have stuff in your business or your life personally that you want to push through and get to the next level. So
and you can find those details at www.dromaniac.com/Cindy. Easy peasy.
Easy peasy. So I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it a lot.
But it's not over yet. We've got to bring back Alicia and make it more fun.
Yes.
So, Alicia, get ready. We're bringing you in, girl.
Yes. And
here she comes.
All right. So I want to ask, since this is the holiday season, do you guys have anything special going on for the holidays?
Well, we're traveling. Imagine that. We're traveling.
Imagine that. You're traveling. Remember that I sent you that video? I sent her a video because she and Kamanzi are always traveling all over the world now. And I sent her a video of this lady saying, "Oh yeah, I'm so happy for you. You're going on a cruise? Oh, I love it. Congratulations."
Yeah, we're doing New York City this weekend. So Friday through Monday morning, we're coming back. We're going to do Christmas with family here in Florida. And then we're leaving for Maui through the new year.
Nice.
All of our whole brood, except for Lexi, my youngest, she's going to Australia to visit her best friend.
Wow.
Oh, hello.
Your old stomping grounds, Alicia.
Wow.
We're in Melbourne.
I'll be at the airport.
Lots of family time between now and the new year. And then I'm going to kick off the new year January 3rd, I will be live streaming with you from Maui. So I'll be on location.
Hey,
Fancy, fancy.
Fancy. What about you, Alicia? What you've got going on?
Well, I'll be at home with the two younger ones, but my son William, he has some exciting stuff going on. He'll be down there by you, Alicia. He'll be in Broward County.
Oh, nice.
So we're getting his little fancy outfits together so he can go out on the town.
Yeah, it'll be nice and warm.
Yes.
He won't be freezing.
He's looking forward to that. I always make a big lasagna dinner for Christmas for my big Italian family. So that's one of the things that I look forward to. And I'm just still staying in the moment, like staying in the now, and that's what I'm going to enjoy.
Great. Well, I have my mom coming. I have my brother and his wife will be here. So I'm going to have a full house and we're going to have some fun over the holidays. Yay.
Woo. Yay.
What about you, Szebastian? I know you're going to be work.
No, I'm actually going to go and see my mom. You know, she's nearly 8,000 miles away from me. So I'm going to go and see my mom, spend some time with her. And yeah, we have not seen each other nearly 18 years, you know. So we've started seeing each other since 2012 after 18 years. So this is going to be really rebonding and reconnecting session for us.
Yeah. Well, give Flush a big hug from me.
Yes, me too.
I sure will. I will make sure she's crushed by all three of you.
Yay. I do want to ask last probably moments, Alicia and Cindy, do you have like 2 or 3 tips for anyone, Alicia, anyone who, you know, is discovering that they have a child with special needs or any situation that really needs help? If you have 2 or 3 tips, and then Cindy, if you have 2 or 3 tips for anyone going through a situation that they need to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Actually, both of you can answer any one of those questions.
Well, I think if we're going to talk about the special needs, if you think your child is delayed in any area, make sure that you don't let fear overcome you. Reach out to your local infant and toddler program, have them come out, do an evaluation. If your pediatrician is telling you your child is just a boy and you don't think your child is just a boy, you go with your instincts as a parent and you go outside of there. You know what? They work for you. The doctors work for you. Fire them. Go get another doctor if you don't like what you're hearing. You got to be an advocate. You got to get on board, but don't let fear overcome you. The only thing that would be, you know, a detriment by having infant and toddler would be them not coming out, because you could find out that your child is just developing normally and you were just overly concerned, or you could address the issue and let early intervention start, because those first 5 years are so important.
Yeah, I had a friend who said he didn't speak until he was like, I think 5 years old, and they all thought something was wrong with him. And he just said, I just didn't have anything to say. I didn't have anything to say, so I didn't have
that problem.
Neither do I.
I've got something to say.
It looks like amongst all 4 of us, I'm struggling to speak, and that's a new thing.
Yeah,
it has never happened before.
Cindy, do you have any tips for our viewers that you want to leave with them?
For what I want to remind you of is that, you know, you have choices, love or fear. And you can choose to love yourself enough to heal your traumas. You know, there is help available, so always get help. And, you know, from a business perspective, you know, I don't subscribe to the hustle and grind mentality where you're going to run yourself into the ground, because that's not healthy either.
Right.
So make sure that you stay working within your zone of genius. You know, we all have our individual gifts. And you need to take those gifts and talents and work within those individual gifts. And, you know, and that also comes from self-love, because if you love yourself enough, you will not burn yourself out either. So it's all possible. Just go out there and get it.
Yeah. I was going to say, Szebastian is brilliant, but I cannot do what he does.
He works too much.
And I can't do what he does. And he can't put on a face like I can.
No. So. Girl, you got that beat on lock.
Hey, you haven't seen me yet.
No, I haven't seen it come out yet. I have not seen it all come out. So
I seem to have this little twin, and she is gorgeous.
yes. So
that's all I'm gonna say.
That's all you're gonna say? All right. So, well, ladies, I appreciate this so much. This was a lot of fun. We learned so much. This got pretty deep at some and on some level. So I really hope that a lot of people see this and are a part of it. And how much time we got, Szebastian? Oh, we're right on.
Yeah, the time is up.
It's gone already. Oh my gosh. So I just want
when you speak to great people like this, and you have such strong stories, empowerment, and everything, time, and that's why these ladies are going to be back in your show and my show very soon.
Yes. So I want to encourage you to go to www.germaniac.com/Alicia for that 30-minute consultation for free that you can book with her before December 31st. The consultation can happen anytime after December 31st, but you must book it before December 31st. And then go to www.germaniac.com. Oh, some mouth. Germaniac.com/Cindy for Cindy's offer of those 21 streams of revenue that you can have in your business, in your existing business, to help yourself grow and have other income coming in from all different sources that you never even thought about. So I am so thankful for these ladies.
Absolutely. Sorry, go on.
No, please. After you.
All I'm saying is that in case you forget the spellings or anything, just go to Germaniac.com/women and you can find these beautiful ladies. And I'm just going to put this comment up again because my man Kimanzi just said, I look good. Oh, thank you, mate. At least somebody acknowledges.
You're not a thorn among roses.
That's right.
all the effort I put,
Yeah. So, you can see not just Cindy and Alicia, but all our other guests, our past guests on Germaniac.com/women, as well as upcoming shows for the new year. So please visit Germaniac.com. And we are so thankful for you guys for coming on. So thankful. You made our show great today. And I'm just going to say happy holidays, everyone.
Happy holidays.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming. And guys, time passes away so quick with people like you. And, I'm so honored to have you on here. And I can't wait for the next episode on different shows and here again. So hopefully next season again, you'll come and we'll share some more stories.
Yeah, Alicia has something to say before we close off.
Yes, please, Alicia, go ahead.
I just wanted to say that it was really an honor to be on the show. And if you get an invite, Szebastian will make this process so easy because I'm difficult.
No, you're not.
Seamless. I mean, it was just so easy. So don't get overwhelmed by the process. If you have an opportunity to work with Alicia and Szebastian, don't pass it up.
No, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
We'll be back January 8th. Mark your calendars. We will be back 10:30 January 8th with some new guests, which you will see promoted before that happens. And I see. Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I see someone that is a potential guest of ours who joined us. But anyway, we'll leave that as a surprise for January 8th for the new year.
Fair enough. And guys, once again, Women Unleashed was produced, directed, and of course, hosted by Alicia, Couri, and myself, and brought to you by Germaniac TV, hosted on this wonderful software, BeLive.TV, which I always say wrong. Yes, go ahead.
I want to say, too, that in January, we are launching Germaniac TV for others, for other business owners, for others to use this platform. Since, we have done the research, we have kind of, extracted all the challenges. We've been through the teething process, and we are now kind of in a flow. So we are offering from January, if you want your own show and you don't know, like Alicia said, you don't know all the technical aspects of it. You don't know how to build all of this infrastructure. We are offering this to you as part of your branding as well, your branding experience, to hire us and Genderequality TV to produce a show for you. So we will produce your show. You show up with your content. You look brilliant. Your guests think you're brilliant, and we'll do all the work for you.
You have the option of getting all the branding, marketing done before the show. We will help you with that. We have efficient teams who are now fully trained to assist you. So they will be behind the scenes doing it all for you. What I am doing right now while running the show, they'll do it behind the scenes without you having to bother about anything. And you can just focus on your show and just do everything. And I need them here from next week, so I don't have to do all this.
Well, next year, because this is it for us. Till next year. Yeah. But you know, we are making this option available to you now because we realize that it is such a valuable platform for you to be seen and be heard, Miss Alicia, to have your own show. You can have your own show, talk about topics that inspire you, that are important to you, that drive you, that you're passionate about. And we'll give you an opportunity to share that with the world. So join us. You can go to Genderequality.com and find out more information about that. Or you can just message us on Facebook or at Szebastian.com, the Alicia Couri, or Szebastian Onne, and get more information if you're interested.
Thank you, Alicia. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you, Alicia, all of you for being here and making this a fantastic episode before the holidays. So everybody, happy holidays.
Happy New Year.
And we'll see you soon.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
And we are out.
Woohoo.